And you don't seem to understand. A shame you seemed an honest man. And all the fears you hold so.
Layer 01.
Hey peeps, welcome to another video. Today I'll be talking about Serial Experiments Lain. Before getting started, I wanted to introduce y'all real quick to my new sketchbook that I started a while back. The sketchbook is mainly going to be for painting, experimenting, and larger mixed media pieces. So it's not my primary sketchbook. Don't worry, I'll let you know when I pick that one out. And yes, it is in fact a medical journal, no worries. This was actually a gift from somebody who ended up not needing it, thankfully, and they thought that I could get better use out of it. I want to start off with a commonly used phrase in the Lain community, which is, there is a little bit of Lain in all of us. I hope that by the end of this video, I will have proven why this line is more than just a meme.
Layer 02.
We start off getting to meet Lain, who is, in the best way possible, the perfect encapsulation of a clean slate human being. Brown eyes, brown hair, teenager. This anime holds no common tropes, and there is no holiday significance or tie-ins throughout the anime. All of this is by design to help viewers assimilate into Lain as a character as smoothly as possible. Now, what is the most human feeling you know? Happiness? Pride? Maybe love? Fuck no. This isn't one of those feel-good animes. We're gonna talk about isolation.
Layer 03.
Isolation is the element of the anime that really captivated audience members because of how tangible the feeling is throughout the series. As we progress through the story, we can tell that Lain has little to no friends, and even her family is barely sticking together. They hardly even talk. I think the only time where Lain's family becomes relevant is when she asks her dad that she wants a new computer, and he kind of just is like, yeah, here, daughter, have a computer. Whatever, have fun, kiddo. And then that's it for his arc, which further pushes the narrative of isolation. The designs for the anime also continue to push the narrative of isolation, as we see that background art for most of the scenes are completely empty. We see Lain singled out, and even when she's on the train surrounded by people, Lain is the only character that stands out in this world because Lain is alone. Another interesting thing to point out is that there's little to no music in backgrounds. The only time when we hear music in the background is usually when they're at Club Siberia, but it's to further cement the realism of this world. Because in real life, there's no background music playing while you're running from place to place. This makes the occasional surrealistic elements of this anime stand out as a more eerie foreshadowing device. Congratulations! There's a high possibility you will have started to slip into the facsimile.
Layer 04.
Most of us remember the first time we used the internet. My first times using the internet were for school-related reasons, and over time I was able to venture out on the deep web for leisure. Whichever the case, we were downloading information, answers to our homework, pictures of our crushes, the poorly translated manga that hadn't come to your country yet. In a lot of scenes, we see Lain merely sitting and doing computer stuff. Through the course of the anime, we don't always need to be informed of the website she is on or how it even works. We just know it gives us the necessary information. So much so that by the end of the anime, Lain goes from level 1 starter pack human to the all-seeing eye of Sauron and with a Wikipedia brain.
Layer 05.
Serial Experiments Lain is a coming-of-age story of a teenager who is entering the internet for the first time, but the setting is a conceptual space on the internet, which is why Lain looks like a generic character icon by default, why there's no concept of seasons or time, why we even hardly have any familial bonds, and or conversations with them, because let's be honest, who actually wants to talk to their parents online? And why, as much as Lain keeps meeting new people throughout the anime, they don't feel truly close to her. This could explain why further in the anime, surrealistic imagery becomes more and more disorienting. It's a metaphor for all the times we've sat at our computers going deeper down a rabbit hole until you notice it's 6 a.m. and you've once again fucked up your sleeping schedule. These experiences are all things people who've been on the internet for just a couple of months go through. It's not too wild to think that Serial Experiments Lain has the potential of being one of the most relatable animes for anyone who is considered terminally online. It almost feels like Serial Experiments Lain is just a huge social experiment to decide how many of us need to go outside and touch grass.
Layer 06.
Now more than ever, we are seeing a resurgence of Lain and the sci-fi genre as a whole. Lain came out at the turn of the century in 1998. This was around 20 years after the technological boom that occurred in Japan, meaning that young adults with family and kids were purchasing home computers for the first time, and the kids of the Lain generation that were growing up in those homes were growing up with the internet available during their formative years. This parallels a lot of the technological advances we've had in the last 20 years, and how the coming generations will never have lived in a world without Postmates, Uber, drones, 3D printing, and worst of all, AI, which is why I believe we are seeing a resurgence in the Lain community as newcomer teenagers experience certain technological advances for the first time, and they see their frustrations and social difficulties reflected in animes such as Lain.
Layer 07.
If you've made it this far into the video, thank you for listening to my Serial Experiments Lain essay. This was an anime that hugely resonated with me, and it wasn't until I set out to make this video that I concretely figured out why the Lain experience felt so visceral. Feel free to share your thoughts and feelings about Lain and or the internet. With this rabbit hole coming to a close, I'd like to say that although we may have a myriad of backgrounds, if you're here and any of this resonated with you, then there's a probability there's a little bit of Lain inside you too. Thank you once again for joining me in another video. I hope you eat something good today, kill your local dictators, all cops are pigs, reach out to your communities, and happy holidays, peeps. Bye!